consistent player from the Florida area. You got Grant Shen up against Zachary Smart and Henry Chow versus Benny Billinger. What a match that could be.
Yeah, for sure. Both, I mean, everyone in this featured matches are very talented. And funnily enough, Tyler Matthews was the highest placing Joltik deck at that Monterey Regional that created all this frenzy. And funnily enough, guess what he's playing?
Is it Joltik?
It is indeed Joltik. You are almost a psychic Pokemon at this point, Jeremy.
Basically, up against Dylan playing this Terabox deck. And I have to say, when we first kind of found out about the Journey Together format, all the tournaments in Japan, Terabox seemed like the terror of the format, just dealing a lot of stuff. Nothing can really stop Wellspring, Ogre, Pawn, and it has just kind of fallen off. It doesn't really do too much. Our own Juancho Saldana did win the Philippine Nationals with it, but we'll have to see if it can kind of stay and keep up in the format.
Yeah, I mean, I think it suffered from its own success. Everyone was so hyper aware about the deck and how good it is that it ended up not doing too well because everyone was ready for it now. Of the prizes here, 2 Lightning Energy out of the 5 that are played could be a little impactful as IMP very much requires Lightning. The Pikachu EX's attack requires Lightning as well. But over on Dylan's side, nothing too major. The 1 Water Energy could be impactful, but you're not going to be using Wellspring at all in this matchup pretty much because there's never 2 Joltiks that hit the board. And it's a 3 prize liability against that Amphi very much, so having the water prize out of all the energies available to Dylan is probably the best case scenario.
And here we go. Both players give the fist bump. Tyler starts that Latios EX, and Dylan starts that Hoot Hoot. Now we do see Ultra Ball in the hand. Gonna have to get rid of some resources, but that would be able to help find Fan Rotom and get things going. You see double Noctowl, Lily's Clefairy, no access to a Terra Pokemon. Maybe we just see this Ultra Ball for a Terra Pokemon like one of the Mask, maybe even the... Oh yeah, Ditto is an option as well, so we could see Fan Rotom for the Ditto.
Yeah, we could definitely Fan Rotom for the Ditto to retreat into it and get that Terra Pokemon going. I don't know if Dylan knows what he's up to. Like, if you know Tyler Matthews, he usually sticks with one deck throughout its whole lifetime, essentially. So you would expect him to. He's already top 8'd. He's probably playing the same deck. However, did he have another energy available? No, he discarded the energy that he needed to retreat into the Ditto in order to get that active, to get going. So it's just going to be the Terrapagos EX. I mean, he had so many good cards in his hand, it was hard to justify any of the discards, but I don't know, I think I would have preferred the Area Zero. You have 3 copies in the deck. With the energy, you would have had a much more stable setup, right? With the Fan Rotom, double Hoot Hoot, and the Noctowl already in hand, with the Terrapagos in the active spot as well. But very underwhelming start here for Dylan.
Yeah, and I think that is just due to the fact where maybe he might not know what Tyler is playing.
Yeah.
Now, if you, like you said, are a fan of the game and you kind of watch through everything, Tyler is known to stick through the same deck. Did it with Lost Zone a lot before, and then, what was it, the Entei Valiant deck for a while.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that, these Joltik decks don't really play stadiums, so again, that would be a safe discard just because that Area Zero is going to pretty much stick and play the entire game. But still has the Terra Pokemon and has the Noctowl in hand, so you can get a setup at least next turn, but no Fan Rotom means you're just playing from behind already.
Yeah, definitely. You didn't thin the deck enough. There's not going to be a backup Hoot Hoot afterwards next turn. There's probably not even going to be an attack coming next turn, just because, yes, Noctowl's Jewel Seeker is very good, but it's not good enough to get you a full bench, get the Fan Rotom, get the Stadium attacking, and get you a fresh new hand to have a much better setup. However, over on Tyler's side, did find that Arven off of the Pokegear, and so he can search for that Nest Ball. I mean, he already had Joltik in his hand, so he's probably looking for something for future turns. We could even see, we do see a Nest Ball, we could have seen a Pokegear as well. And yeah, it's just going to be full-on setup here. We will grab that Miraidon. Miraidon will get us Joltik and Iron Hands, I'm guessing, which we already had in hand.
Now, looking through Tyler's deck, you can see everything is gold and blinged out, except for the Pikachu EX. And that's just because Tyler's least favorite Pokemon is Pikachu. So opted not to, you know, drop all that money on the expensive versions.
All right, so we do get the Joltik going along with the Pikachu off of the tandem unit. We will be using that Jolting charge, thinning the deck quite a bit, probably powering up the Iron Hands, which does get the Bravery Charm attached, putting it out of range of a full bench Terrapagos with Area Zero, which maximizes that 240 damage to the 4 straight energy. Now, do you split them here to have summon Pikachu EX to take down the Terrapagos and summon Iron Hands to take down the Hoot Hoot with no Crispin in hand? I think you have to commit to the Iron Hands, maybe? Or to, well, I mean,
it just depends what you expect Dylan to do next turn, right?
All right.
We're going to commit fully to that Iron Hands EX, and Dylan draws a Crispin for the turn, which could be pretty good here to at least get an attack going. But the thing you kind of have to realize against this Joltik deck is most of the time you don't want to take a knockout on the Joltik. Your opponent is never going to bench another single prizer.
Yeah, you're still going to have to go through 2 rule box Pokemon essentially, right, to win the game. So getting a prize on this Joltik is pretty inconsequential, as you mentioned, Jeremy. But pretty difficult decision here for Dylan. Does have the Sparkling Crystal, which he could attach to the Terrapagos. And now that Tyler has committed all his energies onto the Iron Hands, the one thing you know about next turn is that Pikachu EX is not going to be attacking. So your Terrapagos EX is pretty safe here.
Looking like maybe just double Nest Ball here off of this Jewel Seeker, trying to pick up where Fan Rotom did not get anywhere.
All right. That energy, that crucial energy going into the Ditto, because the Ditto wasn't priced, right? So,
no, yeah.
And I mean, even if it was and you didn't know if it was priced, you should always, because the chance of a card being priced that you need is always way less than it not being priced. If you don't know, you should always assume it is not priced, because odds are in your favor that it is not indeed priced.
Well, if you don't know, now you know.
Yep, and now you definitely know. Now, going for the Wellspring, that is an immediate 3-prize liability.
Especially with that Iron Hands. If there's one thing this Joltik deck is good at, it is Boss's Orders, take a knockout. There's 4 of in the list.
I mean, could we be seeing an attempt at a sub to keep that Joltik in play, get another turn, slow things down? But then that just means another Jolting charge, right? And then the Pikachu EX gets powered up. Like 2 or 3 turns of Jolting charge is like the dream for this deck. Usually how you deal with it is knocking out the Joltik has no consequence in terms of the price raise or the price mapping, but it does matter in the grand scheme of things because if you take down the Joltik, then it's going to take a while to power up the Pikachu, but it's just going to be a sub play here.
That means that Joltik will not be able to retreat, but I think Tyler is A-okay with that.
For sure.
Especially because that Pikachu EX, it discards 3 energy to be able to do 300 with that Topaz Bolt, and if you're able to charge up 4 energy on it right away, that means you can attach, take a knockout, the next turn attach, take another knockout.
Yep. I mean, and you're also thinning your card by 4, your deck, sorry, by 4 cards off of the Jolting charge now. Tyler is eyeing up that Iron Leaves. Can you tell us about that?
Iron Leaves, its ability, when you play it from your hand to your bench, you can move it to the active and then attach any energy from your bench Pokemon to the Iron Leaves. But what it's doing here, it's just acting like a switch. You can bring up that Iron Leaves, retreat to that Iron Hands, and take 3 prizes. It seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, it seems pretty good to me. You're protected with the Bravery Charm as well, so there's no retaliation. This soft play was definitely extremely weak, and now with the Rapid Burn, like, I mean, Tyler doesn't have a great hand. He has, I think, Lilith, Clefairy, and Blood Moon in his hand as the only 2 cards, but now he's about to get 3 prize cards.
Yeah, and looking at Dylan's hand, there's 3 cards, and not much else really doing anything for him. Able to move that Psychic Energy from the Joltik, so you still have all 4 energy on, and you don't even need to get the energy off. You have that Latios for free retreat.
Yeah, so you just needed the effect of the Rapid Vulnerability. No need to add extra energy, and we see the Amp you very much for 3 prize cards, getting Nest Ball for a potential fall of Serendipity if anything crucial happens and the Terabox takes down any of the 2 prizers on the bench. So far, so good. And a Crispin to just get more energy to play.
Now, I think with the Bravery Charm, it puts it just out of range, but Dylan is playing 1 copy of that Flamigo from Paradox Rift, being able to combat Beak for 20, plus 20 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It is a fighting Pokemon, but it is going to just be doing, what, 240? And that Bravery Charm really putting in a lot of work.
Yeah, Bravery Charm, such a crucial, good card. There's 2 copies in Tyler's deck, and just giving extra HP. I mean, having a 280 HP basic Pokemon is already outstanding, right?
Jewel Seeker for Dylan, trying to just figure out what options are available. Could it be another Nest Ball? Jewel Seeker for 3 Nest Balls, essentially?
That would be, I mean, necessary probably to just get the Serendipity EX into play. Seems like 1 card is going to be Crispin to power up, so Dylan does have the Ace Pick in his hand, but he's being very conservative with it. You could just attach it here, go for a big research, just assume you're going to draw an energy, and then go from there, but he's just trying to save it for the right Pokemon. But what is the right Pokemon even at this point?
I have no idea right now, Pablo. This is such a strong setup from Tyler, and really that's what this deck does. You go for that turn 1 Joltik going second, charge up your Pokemon, and then the following turns you just start taking prizes, playing Boss's Orders, and we see from the Jewel Seeker here for Dylan does find the Crispin and the Nest Ball. Nest Ball will find that Serendipity EX. Crispin will allow this Terabox to get powered up. Now, looking at the list yet again, could we see a Crown Opal? There is that 1 of Water prize, but you have that Sparkling Crystal in hand. Crown Opal will help this Terabox EX just prevent all the damage from non-colorless basic Pokemon.
Yeah, so 180 damage, there's no colorless Pokemon in play, right, that can't do anything. So this could be like panic moment for Tyler, but as long as he finds Boss's Orders eventually, take this, either of these down. The issue with not having any other energy in play could be important, but there's definitely enough threats on the bench to where Tyler is fine. And maybe that's why we didn't go for the Fan Rotom play in the beginning, right?
Maybe.
Just not have so many basic Pokemon in play that they can be bossed around. It's too late now, right? There's definitely enough at this point, but maybe Dylan definitely had something planned for this specific matchup, and he did know what he was up against, perhaps.
There is a Turo in the list as well, so you can kind of save one of those Pokemon from getting bossed up next turn, but Arvin will be able to find that powerful Ace Spec in a Prime Catcher, which has just seen a lot less play in this format than you would have expected.
Yeah, I told Dean about that Secret Box, about the Sparkling Crystal, about the Unfirst Stamp, Prime Catcher, because the format did slow down with Body, right? And Body also blocks Prime Catcher. It's been less appealing, but in these sort of hyper-offensive decks, it's always a good option to have that extra searchable costing effect that can be used at any moment, and it's an extra switch effect as well.
And in tandem with Latios EX, it is just free to play.
Yep.
You really don't have to think about it too much. And honestly, I think I kind of see the way this game is going to shape up. You're going to Iron Hands take a knockout on a Noctowl, and then your opponent's going to take a knockout on Iron Hands, and then maybe you'll kind of Joltik again, or just put up a Pikachu in the active spot, maybe take a hit. But I think it's going to finish with that Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. It is the 1 Pokemon that can hit through Crown Opal, and with the Sparkling Crystal on that Terabox EX, it's perfect amount of HP for Blood Moon to take it.
Yeah, Blood Moon does 240 damage, bypasses the Crown Opal, as you mentioned, Jeremy, so it's going to be a pretty straightforward and easy way to deal with it. So even keeping your bench low against this deck doesn't work. The only way it would work is if Crown Opal didn't do any damage, right? But it does 180, so eventually you will KO something, you will open up the bench space, and I'm sure Tyler is very aware of this situation.
And I think here we're going to do Arm Press. Tyler playing around Iono 2-1 because that is the one weakness of this Joltik deck in general is there's no draw support on your bench. There's no Cloaks trying to get up any extra cards. There's no Golden Go EX. So your one way to really lose this game is Iono and then just draw nothing.
Yeah, for sure. So always being able to draw that extra card is perfect. There's always that Fezandipity in play. I mean, there's Professor Turo, right? So Tyler, I mean, Dylan could get that off play, but since you have the Blood Moon, which is a colorless Pokemon, you're pretty safe here.
Well, there is the Crown Opal, so it could just be pretty simple that Fez is still play Boss's Orders off the top, but I don't think there's a way to actually take the knockout here. It might just be Crispin to the Blood Moon, attach energy, pass.
I mean, honestly, I like Crispin to the active, just both energies, leave that ready, and then you threaten with Boss. Or you can Joltik and just get every energy in play and have both threats available. That works too.
Kind of setting up a little checkmate on board for Tyler. Yeah. There's going to be so many energy in play at the end of this turn, Pablo.
Oh, wait. Yes. 2 from Crispin, and then 4 more from Joltik. Will there even be any left in the deck? I think you want to go for a Psychic here, because you can't attach Psychic and Metal, because those are the ones you cannot attach with Jolting Charge. Who would have thought? I mean, it feels like 30 HP Pokemon are just dominating the format, wreaking havoc, right? Cleffa being played in Carnivore, Body all over the place, and how Joltik takes the stage as well.
It's giving me flashbacks of 2011, but you can't attack on turn 1.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, flashbacks to the 2000s with the first baby Pokemon that came out. Those were the days.
Listen, Pablo, I'm not that old.
Yes, you are.
Well, I didn't play back then.
Okay, that's different than not being old enough.
Crispin here is going to find the Metal and the Grass. Metal on the Pikachu.
That's into hand, being very conservative with that Psychic Energy just to keep the Clefairy available just in case. As we see, the Jolting Charge for 3 energies, only 1 Psychic Energy left in the deck. I mean, 1 Grass to Pikachu, the other 2 to the Blood Moon. And then if Dylan takes a prize, which he needs to continue being protected, he'll end up losing to the Blood Moon. And if he doesn't take a prize, then he'll just lose to the Pikachu. It's a lose-lose situation here either way.
That's not good.
Crown Opal doesn't even do enough damage to really close things out.
Now, Dylan does have that Iono in hand, but it is a turn too late.
Yeah. You could, I guess, boss the Blood Moon, hope there's no more energy left.
Is there even a boss in hand?
There is a boss in hand. It's the license one. So you could go after the Blood Moon here. And if there's no energy attachment, then the Blood Moon can't attack, and the Pikachu X also can't attack, so that could be one option. But I mean, then the Blood Moon retreats, and you're just patient, and you lose to a boss's orders, right?
Well, even just benching the Blood Moon Ursaluna EX here kind of gives you that lose scenario just to a boss's orders as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was always a Fez, right? Also the Blood Moon, so...
Like, this turn needed to be 2 supporters, like boss's orders, the Blood Moon, and Professor Turo.
And Turo, yeah. Which, of course, is not possible. Now, Dylan debating, trying to...
I guess Iono to 2 means there's less of a chance for boss's orders, but your opponent has 3 left.
I mean, but if you take a prize, then the Blood Moon is active, right? Like, you have taken 2 prizes, now Blood Moon does enough damage to 40 knockout, and that's it. And if you retreat into the Blood Moon to attack, then the Pikachu EX close out the game. So I don't see any way. No help here. I mean, there was nothing that could be drawn to help. Benching this Hoot is inconsequential.
Yeah, this is one of those times where you're kind of just playing it out, but you have game on board. Tyler Matthews winning game 1 here in round 4 up against Terabox, and it is just pretty standard for a deck like this. Joltik, get your energy, start attacking, take prizes, go into the next game.
And now that you have the knowledge that there's a Blood Moon or Saluna, Crown Opal strategy, not great.
No,
right? I mean, I think in the against the earlier Raging Bolt decks, that could have been viable because not every Raging Bolt plays Blood Moon, but I think at this point every deck is ready for this potential strategy, so you just need to play a 2-prize race. That's what you need to do. You need to race them and be faster than them at taking the first 2 prizes and go with that.
This was the turning point of the game, I think. Sob into that Joltik, but Tyler had the perfect counter in that Iron Leaves. Being able to get into the active, retreat for free with that Latios, Iron Hands, amp you very much, take 3 prizes. Then it was a Prime Catcher, bring up that Noctowl, take 1 prize with the Arm Press, playing around Iono, and Dylan doing the only thing he could really do with the start that he had. Crown Opal trying to just stay in the game, but Tyler seeing that, charging up that Blood Moon or Saluna with that Joltik and that Pikachu, kind of set up a checkmate scenario in play. Yeah,
too many energies in play. Latias providing the free retreat. Could have been a 0-card hand after that Iono, and still would have been completely fine as he just showed the Blood Moon at the end, showing that it was game. So, I mean, can Dylan do anything about that situation? There's no Bravery Charm in the list that I can see, so you can't even power up with 3 regular energy and the Bravery Charm to protect from the Blood Moon. That strategy is not going to work. So now Dylan needs to play a regular 2-2-2, be faster than the Joltik deck. You know they always need a turn to power up, and that's your cue to take the advantage.
It's kind of a tale of 2 different styles of deck building, right? Terabox is try to stretch everything thin as much as possible, have a counter for kind of every deck in the format. Meanwhile, this Joltik box is very linear. I'm going to do 2 things and do them every game.
Do them very straightforward and very well as well. Just Jolting Charge, power up the relevant Pokemon, and I'm good to go. Ryan EX helps me with that early game consistency thanks to the tandem unit. Now, I do like Dylan letting Tyler go first. That means he's going to have like this awkward-ish turn of just getting the Pokemon out. Then he's going to have to use Jolting Charge. So at best, he's going to be starting attacking in game 3. And now we do see the prize cards. There's an Iron Hands and a Pikachu EX in the prizes. There are 2 copies of each in the deck, so we still have access to those. but there's no recovery, there's no Night Stretcher, so if we at any point need 2 Pikachu EXs for some reason, or the two Iron Hands, that could be a little tricky.
And going first is never really what this deck wants to do. You want to go second attack with that Joltik, but it's also not that bad, especially starting this Miraidon. Just go ahead and search for your Lightning Pokemon, attach an energy to a Joltik maybe, or even a Pikachu, and then just wait for next turn until you can Joltik. Depending on Dylan's setup as well, there could not be a lot of pressure coming from that side of the board.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can be aggressive with the Fan Rotom early on, but 70 damage doesn't really do much here. I don't think the Joltik's going to be active anytime soon, right, until next turn. So, yeah, I mean, pretty safe turn. Dylan could be aggressive, but because you can't use Terabox EX's first attack on your first turn, even if you had the Crispin combination, that's usually a big deal. You can attack with Clefairy EX, though, to get a potential 2 prizes first, but... Right. Where does this energy go, Jeremy? To the active for retreating next turn? Sure.
I think it's probably the safest play, especially if you get Ionote or something like that this turn. You always have the option of Latias EX to free retreat, but again, you might not have that available. If you already have the energy, you just need 1 more energy to be able to attack with that Joltik.
We do have an Ultra Ball. We can go for the Fan Rotom into Ditto play this time around. Really hoping we see that and we start to see some aggression since the next turn. There's the Fan Rotom being eyed up. Ditto is not priced. Really, Pikachu EX being priced could be crucial. The Flamigo could be crucial as well.
Sad to see it up at the top. You know, I wanted to see it in play.
I mean, it's a pretty cute tech. I think its main use is probably as a counter to the Terabox EX with Buffalo deck, but they need to have exactly 8 bench Pokemon in order for you to take a knockout. If they have 7 or less, then it's not even good enough to take that KO. So I'm not sure how effective that tech is. There we see this Ditto.
Flamigo's trying, all right?
Yeah,
it's trying.
If it's going to have its moment, it's going to be somewhere against these Lightning decks now. There's more merit to it, right? But once again, we see the Wellspring Ogre Pawn.
Now this is going to be able to lock the active Miraidon for the following turn, but that just means Tyler would need to find a Prime Catcher to be able to get the Joltik attacking.
Or just go for a Crispin, knock out the active. Okay, so we're going to be very aggressive, take down the Joltik. Okay, I like that. Deny the Jolting charge. If your opponent goes Crispin KO, they're not going to have a lot of energy in play. They go for another Joltik, then you did get the first 2 prizes. And having the A-Spec and the Crispin without Noctowl on your first turn, definitely not very common. So off to the races for Dylan. I like this play.
Yeah, and the fact that this leaves the Miraidon EX with 120, so following Crispin on next turn could actually take a knockout on it, dealing 120 to the bench if Tyler goes for that Joltik play.
Yeah,
and then we would see Dylan go down to 2 prizes left.
Now, with this Crispin, we're definitely going to take down this Wellspring Ogre Pawn in retaliation, I think. So, not too bad, but with so little HP, a follow-up Terapagos or whatnot could be problematic. Now, Dylan doesn't have another Terra Pokemon in play, but did get the Night Stretcher off the prizes, so he could get this back and activate his Noctowls in order to set up the next KO.
It's definitely rough, though, because it's just another liability on the bench, even with how good it has been.
Is it a liability, though, if there's no energy in play? I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah. 3rd energy on the Miraidon EX attached. The grass from the Crispin, lightning for the turn. Now can use this Nest Ball. Grab one of those Psychic Pokemon, maybe Latias EX. Pheasantipity is also a great card here, drawing 3 cards with Flip the Script. Remember that Joltik did get knocked out last turn.
Yeah, 3 extra cards, never a bad thing. If you assume the Miraidon is going to get taken down as well, then that's 3 extra cards next turn as well. So not too bad. And now Tyler might actually try to go out of his way to not bench another Joltik, to not give Dylan that opportunity to be on even prizes once again, but then he's going to need to find Crispin each and every turn, and there's no good 2-energy attack he can use next turn in order to keep up any sort of pressure.
Maybe something outside of like Lily's Clefairy EX.
Oh yeah, Lily's Clefairy, you're right.
If both benches are kind of full, but that's really the only route Tyler might have. There is that Photon Blaster, the often not used attack anymore in this Miraidon deck, being able to take the knockout on that Wellspring Mask Ogre Pawn EX. Now, Dylan does have Core Stone in hand.
Massive top deck. Now, he doesn't need to bring back that Wellspring with that Night Stretcher, so gets to conserve the resource of the Night Stretcher, and doesn't have that 3-prize liability in play now. We need to grab something to knock out this Miraidon. I think it has to be Nest Ball Crispin.
Yeah, Nest Ball Crispin, Nest Ball for the Terabox EX, and just be able to take the knockout. You have enough bench Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. You're doing 150 damage, looking pretty good. That's more than enough thanks to the previous damage from the Wellspring. And you leave your opponent with no energy in play. They want to get Joltik going, then good for them. That means you get an extra prize card, and there's the perfect combination.
Nest Ball for the Terabox EX. Crispin will find a couple energies. Dylan will be able to attach the one from hand, and then I think there's another card you might be able to burn in the hand. I'm not quite sure. There's a Night Stretcher, then something else. Oh, it's a Latias. You can't play Latias. So restart for 1. Try to find something off the top of the deck. Maybe Area 0. Yeah. Noctowl for next turn. Doesn't do it.
Not terrible. But I mean, you don't need much for next turn anyways, right? Worst case scenario would be like the Noctowl getting brought up to be stalled, right? But now that we got 2 prizes and we got, what did we get? We got Hoot and Nest Ball. So not a lot of help here.
Tyler deciding what Pokemon to bring up. Something like that Pheasantipity EX. And this is where the Joltik deck does not want to be. You really want to be able to use that Joltik to attack and charge up your Pokemon, and from there you kind of just keep things going. This is where Tyler's going to need to pull through a lot of tricks and jump through hoops to try to get things going again.
No Crispin found, no way to energy accelerate, and you don't really want to give your opponent the opportunity to, like, you can't flip the script next turn if you don't go for the jolting charge right now, right? So I think he might be forced to go for that Latias, go for the jolting charge, and then hope Dylan can't find a way to win over the next 2 turns. He definitely can't get 3 prizes next turn. We are going to see the potential Prime Catcher to stall against the Noctowl maybe. We could see Maractus as well factor into play to just buy time, and that would allow you to get a lot of energies into play, and that Noctowl would be stuck in the active for 5 turns until Professor Turo is found.
Yeah, it is one of those inclusions just because it has that corner attack, being able to stop your opponent's active Pokemon from retreating. Arven will be able to search for the Prime Catcher, so exactly the play you were saying. Prime Catcher, bring up a Noctowl, Maractus, corner, even having a Bravery Charm if you want to kind of protect that Pheasantipity EX.
Yeah, that way it can't be KO'd by Unified Beatdown, even if there is a lot of basic Pokemon benched. Now, at this point, I don't think Tyler knows how many or which switching cards Dylan does play, but he doesn't play any switch. It's only the Professor Turo. So until he can Turo that up, then he's going to be stuck there for 5 turns. I mean, he could bring anything up, right? Seems like it's going to be the Mew instead, which has a lot more HP. And if he's going to copy the attack, right, copying corner back is not that impactful. All right.
Energy on that Maractus. Gonna see a corner here, and Tyler again just trying to slow things down, was not able to use that Joltik to charge things up. There's that corner, and now it's just up to Dylan. Can we find a Noctowl?
No, Area Zero off the top. I mean, that will let us play down a bunch of things and maybe restart for a few cards here. I mean, it is pretty stuck, though.
It's also just more Pokemon to lock up, right?
Yeah.
That Latios comes down, that more Hoots that turn into Noctowls.
Yeah, there's only 1 Turo available. There are 19 minutes left. If Dylan ends up winning this game, because of how fast these decks go, maybe we could see the round finishing potentially.
This is also kind of a strategy for this Joltik deck in general. Like, you're a very fast, like, low to the ground deck. You're going to take game 1 pretty fast, especially if you go second. And then you can switch up this strategy, go into corner, and just kind of bide your time.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly would not have minded bringing up the Cornerstone.
Just not do damage.
Just not do damage. Or maybe if you force your opponent to Turo, this guy, then you do it again. You bring up this. I mean, it can attack, right? So it's probably not good enough, but it can attack.
Yeah, there's 2 fighting energy in the list for Dylan.
And
because of that Flamingo, yeah. Well, the crystal was on the water.
Oh, yeah. That's true. The crystal is now gone. Really debating where to attach this energy, but every second counts for so much. 2 draws and Crispin off the top. Not a lot of help here. No Latias got benched either, so...
Yeah, opting for the double Hoot and that Teal Mass to try to dig further.
Yep.
Well, Tyler did exactly what he needed to do, just buy more time. Corner able to do that, trap the Mew EX in the active spot. And now you just got to try to charge up Pokemon again, but there's what? Earthen Vessel and another energy in hand. No Crispin, I see, as of yet, but you have that Pokegear.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler needs to get enough energy to get 2 attacks off, right? And this is where Rapid Vernier could actually be pretty good, because you do 180 damage, you can take down the Mew. That's probably why it was chosen instead of the Noctowl. That gets you the 2 prizes with Prism Edge. And then if you have enough energy on the Pikachu, you knock out whatever is next. So really well planned by Tyler. And that means the energy attachment on the Maractus is also live for that Rapid Vernier ability. So we get a Crispin here, get 2 more energy into play, and then perhaps another Crispin the following turn, or just even if we buy 2 or 3 turns, that's going to be enough to close out this game.
I have seen a lot of these Joltik lists kind of drop that Iron Leaves EX from the deck, but it is a great utility card, and we've seen it play out here for Tyler in Game 1, and has that big potential, like you were saying, here in Game 2.
Oh, no. Pokegear does not find Crispin, so we do have energy to attach this turn. We can Arven, perhaps for another Pokegear, to try to find Crispin next turn, which would still be pretty okay. Just give yourself the chance of finding it next turn. You know, you've already bought a turn. You can probably buy another one. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here.
I guess there was also the route of taking the knockout with Galvantula, potentially, but you needed the Crispin.
Yeah, that could have worked as well. I mean, even if you could do it this turn, though, I think you need to wait, right? You need a lot of energies into play. Yes, you have the Galvantula, Shocking Wave attack to take a knockout on the active. Like, it's all about taking 2 knockouts, 2 prizes, right? That's the priority here, and it's all about buying enough time to be able to pull that off. The Galvantula was unlocked from the prize cards. It was there originally, but now it is available as we see it hit the board. So that's step number 1, right? We could use Rapid Vernier, we could use Galvantula. Both of them work. What we need is more energy, all the energy.
Latias EX on the bench. This will allow the Maractus for retreat later, but we are just going to continue with the corner. Still going to take a read of that Galvantula. Definitely does a lot of damage in this deck, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You're not really expecting this Joltik that's charging up all your Pokemon to start taking some knockouts, but it does.
Yeah, I mean, if you end up ignoring the first Joltik that powered everything up and it has 1 energy on it, then it can become a threat out of the blue pretty much.
Now, for the turn, I believe Dylan drew Crispin. Still no access for Noctowl, it seems. I think it's a Nest Ball in the hand, not an Ultra Ball. Could be wrong.
Yeah, it's Nest Ball. It's definitely Nest Ball. It was there from the previous turn. So we have Crispin, we have Ball Pet as well, so we can thin a few cards. But now that we've played Crispin, we cannot play Turo, right? So things are not looking great here for Dylan. And as the time wears off, that's good for Tyler. And as long as Tyler buys enough turns, he will be the winner of this game.
Crispin kind of pulling double duty here. You can attach the energy to the Mew in the active spot, but then you have that Teal Dance available to you with the grass in hand.
Yep.
Again, just trying to find that Turo, find a Noctowl, find an Ultra Ball at this point.
This goes against that, though. We are making the deck bigger, reducing our odds of finding Ultra Ball, reducing our odds of finding Noctowl or that Professor Turo. So, sure, we draw an extra card with Mew, but I would have liked to see at least attempt to draw one card first with the Teal Dance, and then you go ahead and thin your hand for the restart.
It's all about sequencing here in the Pokemon TCG.
And just like we learned with the video before this match. All right, there's the Teal Dance. If we see a Crispin here, okay, no, just an energy, which we can attach, right? Just thin one more card.
Yep. Now we draw the Crispin.
Now we draw the Crispin. Nope.
And Rotom. Oh, this is rough draws for Dylan. This corner is putting in a ton of work.
And then we see the pass. I would have liked to see that urgency, right? Like that, okay, not pass. Yeah, we're taking a little bit of extra time, which it's completely fine, but it's of no benefit here.
You're just hurting yourself if you do end up pulling out the victory here in game 2.
Right now, over for Tyler. We're going to see another Pokegear looking for that Crispin, which is now doesn't even bother looking at the other cards at all.
That's the best feeling to be honest.
Yeah, that's usually pretty good. So we're going to get Crispin. That means we get 2 more energy into play along with our attachment. I think we still need 1 more turn. And then, well, no, yeah, we still need 1 more turn. And then even if Mew copies our corner and traps us, quotation marks, we can still use the Rapid Burnier, switch into the active, take a knockout on the Mew with that Rapid Burnier, and have enough energies on the Pikachu EX to close out the game against the Teal Mask or against the Terapagos the turn after.
Tyler's thinking about discarding that Iron Leaves EX, but decides against it. Pretty close there. It is your one way to really switch out of the active because I think the Prime Catcher was already used.
Yeah, Prime Catcher no longer available. I mean, I generally think it's just a matter of time here for Tyler. Now that he bought himself 2 turns, has decent odds of buying a 3rd as well.
And it's not like you're in any rush, unlike Dylan, right? Like you won game 1. If you want, like you just want to corner the entire game.
Oh my, but oh wait, there's Area 0. I thought we were filling up the bench, but no. Liz Clefairy hits the board. Blood Moon Saluna also hits the board with Latias. They all have retreat, so it's completely fine. All thanks to the Area 0. It's still Rapid Burnier. I want to see the Rapid Burnier. Locked in on that play turn.
I think we'll see it, Pablo.
Right.
Energy on that Clefairy EX is just a better attacker at this point than the Pikachu. It only attacks for 2. That means just an energy attachment next turn, and then along with an energy attachment on that Galvantula if you want.
I mean, it could get bossed though, right? Like if Galvantula attacks, takes the knockout right now. Which
are we going for? Okay.
Yeah, but what if the Clefairy gets taken down? I think if we buy more time and
get the
Pikachu ready. Yeah, I guess you have the Blood Moon. You have 2 threats. You're right. You're completely right. Both of these work. You are completely right. That's good enough.
You can keep saying that. I love hearing it, Pablo. Right? Knockout
web
for Tyler, going down to 2 prize cards. And this is the awkward part. Every one of Dylan's attackers is a 2 prize Pokemon. They all have under 240 HP. And if this Pokemon gets knocked out, all Tyler needs is an energy from pretty much either the Lily's Clefairy EX or that Blood Moon.
There is no boss's orders in Tyler's hand, though. So he actually can't win next turn because of that Cornerstone stance protection. Now we see the Turo getting brought to the forefront. There is a Crispin available for Dylan. This flip the script is going to be pretty big, though. We need to find Crispin to be able to attack this turn, take a prize card, and if Tyler doesn't have exactly boss's orders, we would be fine here. We could also get energy and energy switch and the fighting energy as well. That would also work. And there are 2 copies of energy switch in the deck. Combining that with Iono, because you don't know what's in Tyler's hand, seems like the highest odds of reducing the boss's orders, but it would actually be helping Tyler to get closer to the boss's orders, as he would see 2 new cards and the top deck, and then would still have Flip the Script to find it.
All right, 3 cards does find the Noctowl, 2 of them, in fact. Jewel Seeker will be able to give Dylan access to the entire deck. Now we could see that Iono play like you were saying. There's the Crispin available to him as well. There's the fighting energy in there. Maybe you are forced to go for something like a Super Rod.
Do we have an Earthen Vessel even available?
I believe I saw it.
Right, well, there's going to be because we're committing to the energy switch.
Well, there's no committing until, you shuffle your deck after
Yeah, well, I mean it's like he's putting it on the table.
Yeah.
So he's showing us that he's going for that. Yep, there's the Earthen Vessel. Okay. Or the Night Stretcher. That works too. All right, Night Stretcher for a fighting. This Iodo is incredible that it's going to help Tyler. I mean, he will still need to find he will still need to find that energy. So now it's energy boss instead of just the boss, sorry. So the energy switch, Cornerstone powered up. We're going to see the next Noctowl. Grabbing Iono, I'm guessing, and something else. Yep, there it is at the front.
Iono and a card you want to put on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, pretty much. Good grab Supra to put energies back. No, we're just going to grab 1 card off of
All right.
Seeker. All right.
Now, Dylan does have the Demolish available to him. We'll be able to take the knockout on the Galvantula, put him down to 2 prize cards after this turn. But like you were saying, there was no boss's orders in Tyler Matthews' hand. And there was a ton of energy, though.
Yeah.
So needing the energy and the boss could be a little bit awkward. But there's the energy. There's the boss.
Oh my god.
What
energy
a play.
And boss's orders. That is crazy. I mean, he was going to get them off the flip the script anyways.
Yeah, but it's better to draw it like that.
But I mean, Iodo to 2, you find the exact 2 cards you need to close out the game. That is crazy to see, Jeremy.
Yeah, Tyler showing the boss, not even showing the energy, even though he needed the energy.
Yeah, for sure.
What an insane 2 games from Tyler's side. Unfortunately, Dylan just couldn't really get stuff going game 1, had to rely on that Crown Opal. And game 2 had a little bit more, but that corner from Maractus, putting in a ton of work, able to, do what Joltik does, but it just takes like 4 turns.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, let's take a look at the replay of what happened in this round. Dylan did have a very awkward hand, right? If he had been able to access the Professor Turo much earlier, then it could have been a completely different story in the second game.
Yeah, this game 1 was a little bit awkward. Dylan had to stop the Joltik, but that just led to Ampy very much for 3 prize cards. Then Prime Catcher came down, took 1 prize off the knocked out Tyler, playing around Iono, and this is where Dylan was like, my only hope is Crown Opal from this Terabox